Good morning. Welcome into our program for today, and we have with us Willie T. Cobb. Good morning to you.
How are you doing today, sir?
And a lot of people perhaps have seen you, even though they don't know it, but I know that you have been at Walmart.
Yes, sir.
At the doorways, along with volunteers at times, collecting money for something called God's House.
Yes, sir.
And there's going to be a walk-a-thon coming up in Waynesville in early September, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
All right, well, let's talk about the Walk-A-Thon, the first annual Walk Against Homelessness. So what is that all about?
Well, it's basically an awareness walk. A lot of things as far as homelessness is concerned is not aware of here in the Pulaski County, state of Missouri area. And what this walk does, we're trying to bring community awareness that there is actual problem here in Pulaski County that needs to be addressed. So we're inviting any and all people here in the community to come and participate in this walk. It's absolutely free of charge. All you do is just show up, sign up, and walk.
Okay, and that's on what? What day?
September 2nd. Which is a Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. We do that so that those that work during the day could come in the later evening hours and they could get a walk-in, or those that work in the evening could come during the morning and get a walk-in.
Well, also you would like to have up to, and maybe more, but at as many as 400 participants.
That is correct. We have reached out to a lot of the local biker clubs, and they are very ecstatic about being able to participate, as well as some of the local businesses that have agreed to volunteer there at the Walk-A-Thon, and we have some of the local businesses that have been greatly generous as far as helping with the raffle that will be at the Walk-A-Thon.
Okay. Well, let's talk about schedule of events that are going to take place, I think, from 10 o'clock to 6 o'clock that day in Waynesville City Park. So when does it, well, I obviously gave it away. It starts at 10 o'clock.
That is correct, sir. We'll start off with basically a Zumba instructor that will come out, and she will basically warm the walkers up during the day, or early during that day, prior to the walk, and everybody just gets ready to start walking. Once they start walking, we have a live DJ that'll be there. That basically say he'll be there the entire 8 hours, and you have music, free food, games, prizes. The raffle will be there. Of course, we're going to recognize the sponsors of the Walk-A-Thon throughout the day, and some contests.
Okay, so sign in at the pavilion located on the Waynesville Town Square. Are you talking about the gazebo or?
No, it will be the Pavilion 1, which is located right as soon as you walk into the park on the left-hand side, next right prior to you get to the stage.
So what is the idea? Now, let's say that a person wants to be a participant and be in the walking event at Walk Against Homelessness. So what do? Do they individually go out and sign up people that will, say, donate so much money for every lap that they walk? Is that basically it?
I'm glad you asked that. We're praying that the walkers will be able to say, okay, I want to walk in this walk-a-thon. I believe in the cause. I know the situation. They'll all they have to do is call us at God's House. 573-393-7025. We'll be happy to email them a pledge sheet. All they have to do is put their name on top, go out to friends, family, loved ones, the place of employment, and say, look, I'm going to walk in the Walk-A-Thon. You want to pledge, sponsor me in the Walk-A-Thon. They could do anything like $2 per lap, and of course they could put a ceiling on how much they want to give. For instance, I have a lot of people, because I'm going to walk myself. It would be crazy for me not to walk. So I have a lot of people that say, okay, I'll give you that $2 per lap, but I only can afford $20, so that'd be my cap. So I know I got to give you 10 laps.
Okay, very good. And actually, you're doing this in conjunction. It's God's House and also Hope Incorporated, which I think is in Raleigh, isn't it?
That is correct. It's now Hope House Incorporated, located in Raleigh. God's House likes to deal with the adults because that is the major issue. However, here in we have a 600,000 plus homeless situation in the United States. 25% of that homeless population is youths under the age of 18. Most of our school systems are not aware that the children that are actually in school, once they leave the school, they're homeless. They sleep in cars, abandoned buildings. So what Hope is, they deal with the youth, education, training, and much, much more. But they are centered and geared toward helping the youth. And they've been established over 9 years now in Raleigh, and they have been doing some magnificent things for the youth there. They're under the leadership of the founder, Alfay Jackson. Beautiful Christian lady, has a passion for what she's doing, and when I met with her, I just knew that we had to get with them and, partner up with them and make something happen.
Now, the funds raised during this, I always call it a walk-a-thon. Well, I guess that's what it is. It's actually a walk against homelessness. Now, how will that money be used?
That money at this current time will use to fund all the programs that we have set up in our for our organization. We're in the process of purchasing 31 acres, which will be able to house, once the facility is built, it will be able to house 1,200 homeless. That's 400 adult males, 400 adult females, and 200 couples in the God's House facility. We're also interested in the purchasing of the building that Paul's Furniture used to be in.
All right.
And that is where we will basically have all our programs established at. Of course, we'll rent it first, but the overall goal is to purchase the building flat out. And all funds go directly toward the God's House mission and objectives. Nothing is used towards salaries. As a matter of fact, there is no salaries at this time. The hardest thing to get right now is funding because we're a rural area. So most of the funding goes to Kansas City, St. Louis, Jefferson City, Columbia, and Springfield, which is basically, as the United States know, that's Missouri because that's the bigger cities. So when it comes down to homelessness, the rural areas is basically forgotten and left unattended. So basically what we're trying to do right now is make that awareness known that we have the same problems that you face in the bigger cities and might even be greater. So that funding, we needed to funnel down here as well. So until that time comes, we're not taking any salaries. We're basically using those that have their own jobs. They use their jobs and they just volunteer their services through their passion for what it is that we believe in. We're spirit-led, spirit-filled. We believe that God brought us here to help each other, and it's definitely my passion. I mean, it's my assignment, and God brings the people in my life that have that same compassion and passion to do God's work.
Well, now somebody might be asking, well, I don't see many homeless people around. And obviously homeless people in our area are not as visible as, say, they would be out in San Francisco or maybe St. Louis or some of the urban areas. And really, so, I mean, how confident are you that there are people out there that are homeless and need help, I guess I would ask?
They actually see them every day and and because of the way they dress or where they are located, they don't even realize that they're homeless. A lot of the times, I'll give you an example. There was a young lady that actually stayed in a van for over a year and was parked right across the street from, right on highway, not too far from here.
Okay.
And she stayed in a van for over a year. homeless.
I think I've heard about
Yes, sir.
person. Yes.
As a matter of fact, when I first came to Missouri, to St. Robert area, there was a couple along with their brother staying in the ravine across the street from the hotel I was staying in. And through the grace of God, we were able to help them with get a trailer, and they're still there today, doing much better than they were when we first met them. So it's here. It's not as visible as you would in the city. Of course, you have the panhandling and everything that's straight out obvious. But here in St. Robert and Waynesville, if you take a good look, that person that's walking down the side of the street, that person that's just standing in front of the gas station doing nothing, that doesn't have the car there, don't have a bicycle there, doesn't look like they have no place to go, you would be surprised. 9 out of 10, that person is either addicted or just plain homeless. I mean, you see them in Walmart every day, and you shake your head or you turn your head to it, but it doesn't change the fact, And it's here. It's bad. The last time I checked, it was over 4,300 in the state of Missouri alone that was homeless. Now, the homeless population's risen a little over 600,000. And we have our share here. It's not, and like you said before, it's not as obvious as it would be in the bigger cities, but it's here. And because of the methamphetamine situation, the drug situation, it leads to the homelessness. That's the biggest problem here, and that's one of the biggest reasons why we have a homeless situation here in Pulaski County, is because of the drug situation. And like I had mentioned earlier, Pulaski County is number 2 in the nation in the methamphetamine production. And it's rising now in the heroin situation. I believe earlier this year, we had 5 that passed away due to overdoses in heroin. And if you know that the drug situation is bad, just related to homelessness, where does that drug situation lead? Because if you're supporting your habits, you're neglecting your responsibilities. And that's what leads to your homelessness.
All right. So I know that we have a lot of people who, would be willing to help and want to help. And so give us some ideas on how they can help out. Of course, they could participate in the Walk Against Homelessness on September 2nd.
Okay. First of all, the walk is free. Like I said, it's free to the community, free to the public. We are inviting not just Pulaski County, but the state of Missouri. If they hear about it, by all means, come down and participate. We're trying to get with a lot of the big Fortune 500 companies to help support us in that cause. But once again, our number is 573-393-7025. That's a direct line to me. Also, our website is at www.gods-house.org. A lot of information is there about God's House, our programs, what it is, our objectives, some facts, how they could give. There's a donation button there, as well as a donation form. If you just don't like PayPal and you don't like using that computer, you can download a donation form and mail it in. The addresses is there, and we could really use their support.
Okay, so again, the idea is to, I guess, and I'm just kind of jumping ahead, to build some kind of large facility, mm-hmm. and have places where people can go and who are homeless and get help, and it's going to take a lot of money to do that.
Yes, sir, absolutely. So that's why we need so much help. I actually recently reopened my construction company, and we're going to basically pull that under the 501c3, and we're going to help that way by donating 50% of all labor costs for the first full year to God's House.
All right.
So if anybody needs any home repair, by all means, Cobb's Home Beautification is donating 50% of all their labor costs directly to the God's House mission.
Have you always had a passion for doing something like this, or it's something that either was brought on by an incident in your life or what?
Yes, sir. I was homeless. 2012. After 25 years of owning my own business, I had some health issues, and the doctors basically told me I couldn't work. So I still would try to work, and finally my wife, she just made me sell everything because it was the only way to stop me from working. Well, of course, after that, we ended up homeless. We went to New York, tried to start over again. A lot of the information that I have here today is simply because I lived it. The monies that is spent just in shelters alone, where the money is no longer funneling down to help the homeless, is actually funneling up to support the corporations. I mean, we lived in an 8x10 room, and the city of New York was paying $4,125 a month for us to live in an 8x10 room when we could walk six blocks down the street and get a one-bedroom luxury apartment downtown Manhattan for $3,300. We could have saved the city $825 and lived a lot better than where we was. That would have actually helped our mindset. So I went through a lot of the things that gave me the passion that I have right now. And on the website, it has a tab that says Build Me a House. It gives my story as to how I received the mission to start God's House.
All right. Well, let's give the phone number out once again for people to contact you if they want to help out in any way. What is that phone number?
That
again?
phone number is area code 573-393-7025.
And they can get more information about this and about helping the homeless at what? God's House?
God'sHouse.org.
All right. Very good. Well, we appreciate your coming here.
Thank you so much for having us.
Willie T. Cobb is our guest today on the program. Thank you for joining us.